I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be looking at the male brain in love.
That sounds like a contradiction somehow, doesn't it?
I guess we're going to find out, Margaret. So we're always looking at different aspects of love and relationships to help you understand breakups better, maybe help you put pieces of the puzzle together on why your situation didn't work out. Maybe there were some issues there, and that you're really struggling to see what happened. So today we're going to get a better understanding of what it's like for men to be in love. And Margaret did some research here, so make sure you give her a thumbs up. So what do we got, Margaret?
Okay, we got more of Helen Fisher's work. And in this particular part, she's talking about the male brain in love. And she says, in the sample that we're referring to, men tended to show more activity than women in brain regions associated with visual processing, particularly of the face. That's not what I thought he was looking at. Okay? Could this have evolved to enhance men's ability to fall in love when they saw a woman who was young, symmetrical, and a good reproductive bet? Maybe. This brain activity could also help explain why men generally fall in love faster than women. It does make sense, doesn't it? If he can see you. When the time is right and a man sees an attractive woman, he is anatomically equipped to rapidly associate attractive visual features with feelings of romantic passion. We all know what that means, but I'm going to continue anyway. What an effective courtship device, exclaims Helen. Okay? Indeed, we found another gender difference that could have evolved to help men court efficiently in yesteryear. She means way, way back when she says yesteryear. When our subjects looked at their beloveds, men tended to show more positive activity in the brain region associated with penile erection. This makes sense in the sense of Darwin. You know Darwin, the voyage of the Beagle, the evolutionary guy. The very purpose of romantic love is to stimulate mating with a special other. This male directly links romantic passion with a brain region associated with sexual arousal and reproduction. Okay? And then she goes on to speculate that this may have something to do with men and pornography, because they're much more drawn to it visually, and women spend days and weeks and hours trying to understand that. So it's a very simple fact to know about men, but a very helpful one.
I think it's really helpful.
Yes.
Because a lot of women really seem to struggle understanding why men are the way they are. But from a biological standpoint, it makes sense to me.
Perfect sense,
I mean,
it?
Look at it this way. If a man could only reproduce 3 days a month and a woman could only reproduce 3 days a month, no one would be having any babies.
No.
The chances of it happening would be slim. So the guy is always ready to go. And because he is at risk for losing out on a mating opportunity and having children, he's biologically hardwired to always go, always be ready. Right?
And always be looking.
Yeah, and always be looking,
He may be very well behaved and make a decision not to act on it, but he's programmed to look.
Yeah, because the window of opportunity with a woman is small every month, at least to reproduce. So that's why men are always easily stimulated and ready to go. And women aren't wired that way, so I think a lot of times they're turned off by it, and they're
What's wrong with these
yeah,
guys?
like why is he
Nothing.
like that?
It's normal.
For men, it's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean he's going to act on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, if he had those qualities of being reliable and, ethical and all those good things.
But that's what a healthy good man is going to do, right? He's going to want those desires. He's going to have
Right.
that.
In addition to all of that, psychologists report that men want to help women to solve their problems and be useful by doing something. Men feel manly when they rescue a damsel in distress. Okay?
Well, that kind of makes sense from an evolutionary
Yes, it
perspective.
does.
When I thought about it right then, it's like I picture like his woman being chased by whatever, a tiger,
Yeah.
and his children being chased by a tiger, and he goes and chases after it and rescues her, saves her, and saves
Right.
his children or whatever.
And, it could have been a couple of rescues a day back there. I hope
Exactly.
he could run well.
Yeah. So that would make sense why
Sure.
men really feel some sort of emotional
Yeah.
pride or stimulation from that.
No doubt, millions of years of protecting and providing for women has bred into the male brain this tendency to choose women they feel they need to save. In fact, the male brain is well built to assist women. Men are, on average, more skilled at all sorts of mechanical and spatial tasks than women are. Men are problem solvers, and many of men's particular skills are fashioned in the womb by high levels of fetal testosterone. Right? How interesting. Perhaps men evolved this biological machinery, at least in part, to attract, assist, and save women. Okay?
So the man maybe that had some kind of reputation
Yeah.
for saving women was like, oh, I want to be with this guy because he'll keep me safe.
Exactly. Yeah. And you better be good at finding a safe cave.
Yeah.
And building a lean-to and all that stuff. All right?
Very interesting.
I think so. Men are more single-minded than women when they love. Only 40% of the young women in a survey we did agreed with the statement, having a good relationship with Joe is more important than having a good relationship with my family. And what they're saying is that men will more so than women put their partner above all.
Wow.
In other words, his relationship with the woman is more important than anything else.
40% of women agree with that. Do we know what the number was for men?
No,
Interesting.
but it was much higher. That part is clear. And what a wonderful question to ask them. And they also speculate that men are a little bit less attached to their families and they don't have friends in quite the same way women do, which I think is still true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay? So men will put the relationship first. This male accessibility is far from new. Then she quotes Dante. If you know Dante, he wrote a very long thing in the Middle Ages, and she talks about Dante.
Did you help him write it?
I did, I was there. I proofread it for him. It was about 400 years ago. Dante's Inferno, if you ever had the misfortune to read it in college, I'm sure you remember it well. But even the protagonist in Dante used to wait on a bridge that his lady fair would cross at least once a day. So he'd wait by the bridge waiting for her, being single-minded and just wanting to see her. This may be due to the male penchant and due to the fact that men have fewer intimate connections with their natal families and friends than women do. But deep evolutionary forces probably contribute. Women are custodians of the egg, a valuable commodity. And women expend more time rearing infants and small children, a vital job.
Sure.
For millions of years, men needed to make themselves available to potential mating partners, even risk their lives to save these precious reproductive vessels, meaning the women with the eggs. Right?
It's kind of weird when you think about it like that.
Custodian of the egg, I never thought
Yeah.
of myself quite that way.
The vessel with the egg.
The
I gotta
vessel with-
save that vessel with that egg.
Yeah, there's the vessel with the egg running. Oh, there's the tiger. Men are still obliged to expend more mating effort to win the courtship game.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, men's mating efforts were clearly visible in their responses to several questions in my survey.
Mm-hmm.
For example, men were more worried that they would say the wrong thing on a date.
Really?
They were not as confident with the words. This is understandable. On average, women everywhere in the world are more skilled with the nuances of language, an ability linked to the female hormone. Who knew that?
No, I did not know that.
I
That's
did not
interesting.
know that either. And that's the estrogen again. But the women in my survey were also more likely to save the cards and letters a lover sends. Women not only savored a suitor's way with words, but unconsciously was keeping track of his effort. How hard did he work to get me? You know? So there's the thoughts for the day. But
Interesting.
much more of it appears to have to do with evolution than you'd ever guess at first glance.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we just kind of don't think about it.
No.
But it does make sense to me.
It certainly does make sense. And I wonder why women need to have a better way with words, maybe to teach children. And she writes a very funny paragraph somewhere here. I don't know if I have it right here. But she was saying that in the very, very early days, please pass the nuts and where's the tiger were about all you needed in terms of a lavish vocabulary.
True.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting to understand that the opposite sex is wired differently.
Yeah.
They think differently. They have different things that are important to
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah.
And you got to be aware of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say, oh, it shouldn't be like that. Well, it is.
It is, and it has
and you
been.
have to adapt to that.
Because we're not going to change it if it's been out there for millennia.
Yeah.
You know?
You can get mad about the way that it is, but it's not going to do you any good. So you might as well take the information and use it to benefit your understanding of relationships. And, you know, not get so angry at men for biologically being hardwired the way that they are.
Right. I can remember when I was very first in this business and making home visits on cases where we had had child abuse reports. And I remember saying to my supervisor, because I had no idea what I was doing at that point, well, the guy came and he talked to me, and clearly he cared and he seemed to be willing to cooperate, but he had no idea what to say. She said, oh, that's easy. You just have to help him with the words.
Mm-hmm.
You tell him what words he needs. Okay. I did, and he did, and we all lived happily ever after.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I never ever thought of that. But you guys got the mechanical and spatial ability from the testosterone in your fluid by that time. So before we even begin, you're better at that stuff, and I can write about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you can talk about it.
And I can talk about, and I can keep track of how much effort you put in.
Perhaps it has something to do with, you know, if the men were out hunting and gathering and everything, and the women were all in this community, they needed to communicate
With each other.
and get along well
Right.
while they were all together.
And take care of the babies while the men were
Yeah.
out. Yes, absolutely.
So maybe that
Yep.
has something to do with how we...
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Because you guys have only so much energy, and you're doing the protecting and the hunting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do a video on the female brain in love too,
Yes,
right?
we are.
Okay, cool. All right, so if you enjoyed this one, put a thumbs up on there and a like for Margaret and all her hard work. And of course, when you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
Feel free to sign up with me for Skype coaching. I'd love to talk with you.
That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth,
I'm Coach Margaret.
and we will talk with you soon.